What's going on, everybody? It is Tyler Pilgrim here. A little bit of a different background today, a little bit of a different thing going on today. But look, we're out here. It is Atlanta United versus Toronto. Time to get back to winning ways here at the Bins. It is just me. Sydney is on vacation at the beach, hanging out. Tommy, he is dealing with some family crises, family issues. So y'all say a prayer for him. But look, as I run my mouth here, I'm going to go ahead and get the lineup pulled up because it has dropped already. They are on point today, and yeah, we'll chat about it. But as I do that, obviously y'all know the drill. Give us your thoughts. Give us your thoughts over in the pitch, in the chat, and we'll have a discussion about it. But obviously, the other thing going on today is the Almada rumors that has been kind of running rampant over the past, few days. And then Caleb Wiley rumors coming out today. And then also the rumor that I just saw a little bit ago about Miguel Borja, who is with River, possibly being a replacement for Gigi, essentially. Let's just say as a striker. So, yeah, Ashton, it'll be a sad day. It'll be a sad day when Caleb Wiley leaves. He's grown up here, quite literally at this club. Zachary, yeah, we're gonna talk about it a little bit. I can tell you for sure, like there's smoke, right, and that means there's a little bit of fire. But I would say that it's probably early stages, so don't get too caught up in Strasbourg or Chelsea or whatever. But yeah, you're looking at quite a bit of money if all of these deals go through. So, I'm here for it. I think it's going to be something that this team needs going into the end of the season, the second half of the season. And you really just have to start planning for the future. Right now, you are kind of – it almost feels like, especially with Thiago Almada, living day to day. And that can't be the way things go. So you got to get some consistency in here. You got to get a number 10 or similar that's going to come in and make a difference. You have to get a striker, a proven goal scorer. And then, as far as Caleb Wiley's concerned, he's a left back. He should be, as he was for a long time, playing as a left winger instead of being so defensive oriented. But let's see. I have totally ruined this here. Hopefully, you guys can see kind of what I'm looking at. But anyway, here is the lineup for today. Daniel Rios up top. You got Xande Silva, Almada starting, which is good. Might be the last time that you see Almada in, at least in the Bins. We'll see. Muyumba alongside Fortune, which is going to be solid. Give Dax a little bit of a rest. Maybe he comes on late to help settle things down a little bit, but Caleb starting. And then you got really your prime center back pairing at this point, which is Derek Williams, John Gregerson, Noah Cobb. All have been phenomenal when they play. And they really haven't put many steps wrong. So, and then, of course, Brooks Lennon over on the right. I think everything that you've got here is, again, you're being pragmatic. You're playing to your strengths. Right now, you don't have a Giacomakis up top. Daniel Rios, though, is scoring goals. Jamal Tiare was scoring goals. Xande Silva, I think, is always going to be better when he has a lot more room to roam. But the biggest thing here is you got to take advantage of Almada while you have him, right? You have to enjoy him while you have him. So this has to be the moment that you get back to winning ways at the Bins. This has to be the moment that you kind of get you had a good road trip. You had a decent game against Houston, but you gave up, again, a late goal, a silly goal at the end. Should have been a win. You come over with a draw. Rob Valentino said he was disappointed, and he should be. You've got to get these wins at home. You've got to start banking points again. you're not out of the race at this point. I mean, you're out of the Supporter Shield race if we're being honest, but you're not out of the season yet. The season's not over. So you see a lineup like you have now. Rob is coming out playing to his strengths. He has three very good center backs. He has one center back that loves to take space if possible. You have one very disciplined center back in Derek Williams, who has been phenomenal. And then, of course, you have the youthful athleticism and a high soccer IQ of Noah Cobb. That allows Brooks and Caleb to get forward a little bit more. Also, it doesn't force Caleb to have as much responsibility defensively. And then, I mean, look, Jay Fortune had a phenomenal game last time out. So why change it? Dax McCarty is going to have time soon because the team just looks better when he plays. But you got a lot out of Jay. And if Jay can continue to play like that, then you're going to be doing well for yourself. So Muyumba, I think, would be the one player in this one that I would love to see just have a game that Jay had last week, right? Or a game that Luke had a couple of weeks ago. He just needs to have a get right kind of really good game. He's a good midfielder, but he's just been so up and down this season. So I think this is if I had to pick one player that just needed a really good game, to me, it's him. So let's see what you guys are saying over here in the chat. Ashton saying, do you think a top 5 placement by the end is realistic going into the summer window? I do. I don't know that you're going to get much higher than top 5. And, of course, a lot has to go right for you to get to the top 5. But it's not out of the question. I think your goal should be shooting for that 5th or 6th spot. I mean, if you can get higher than that, great. But a lot of things are going to have to go your way. But get to the 5th or 6th spot, get out of that, barely squeaking in, and then you got to have a play-in game, and then you got to play the first seed or whatever. Like, get past that, and then see what you can work with. So, Tommy,
what's that?
Hold on.
Can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you. I don't know if anybody else can hear. Oh, there we go. I can hear you.
Sweet.
So what's up?
Saw the lineup. It's looking like a 1-0 game again.
You think so?
Yeah. I just don't. I see this team defensively. I mean, you got Gregerson back in there. I think that line, that back, 3, 5, whatever you want to call it, is gonna just stop Toronto. I mean, they're not great. Derek Etienne is not scoring. I'm saying that again. I'm not jinxing things. He's not scoring. But I think Atlanta could get it done here. I think it's gonna be a 1-0 game, and I think Almada is gonna score here. Maybe it's just a penalty, but I just have a feeling we're gonna send them off with a 1-0 win.
I'll take it. A win's a win. A win is a win. I
mean,
need
it, right?
We need it. Absolutely, we need it. But we also need, however it comes, right? You just need a win. But I mean, I said a few weeks ago, sometimes it's those squeaky 1-0 or 2-1 wins that maybe give you a little bit more confidence. But I actually think the team's playing with a little more confidence now. You had a good road trip, right? So now you just got to come home and do it for your fans. Get right with the fans. Get right here at the Benz, and don't let it that run. Don't let that run ever happen again.
Yeah. And, I mean, I know there's a lot of talk. I mean, I don't even know if you talked about all the Caleb Wiley stuff that's already been
A little bit
flying out here, but I mean, you've got a lot of rumors here. This team is definitely going to be evolving here, and I think it's going to be for the better, right? And Tom, Bogart posted like they're planning on using this money right now, and it's a little bit nervous because you don't have potentially your head coach for the future here. But I mean, they want to make moves. They're being smart about a lot of the moves that they've made so far. So I'm not overly worried about it, as opposed to if this was last year or 2 years ago before everything really came in. So, I mean, right now, I think they still want to make the playoffs. But this one's real important here. This might be your last game with a legit full DP here. I mean, I know we call Gregerson a DP light, but could be your last game here for a while without a huge DP here. And I think that they need to take advantage of this game. Toronto's not great, and win it.
Yeah, and that's actually kind of what I touched on right before you got on. But I was saying that you may only have this may be the last time that the fans get to see Almada in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, possibly. But no matter how much longer you have him, you have to take advantage of his talent. You have to go out and he's got to give you everything that he should be giving you as a DP, as a player of his talent, to help Atlanta bump up the standings before he does go. Because again, it does seem like that's happening. That's, as I mentioned earlier, smoke and fire. There's a lot of smoke around Almada. There's some smoke around Caleb, but
They got
it's
aggressive.
gonna
Like
need some fanning. Yeah,
it's very aggressive right now. Very aggressive. This
yeah,
Wiley stuff.
and for a reason, right? I think obviously when Chelsea starts saying anything, the fact that they have the amount of money that they do, and they spend it the way that they do, is always going to cause headlines. It's going to make headlines, but I am surprised at how heavy it got before the Olympics. So, but they're talking about like him going as quickly as like in the next couple of weeks for preseason, which is wild to me. So sometimes it's that quick, but it definitely does have some feet to it for sure, and we all know the Almada one does. So, and then you also have this other rumor that's kind of popping up about a replacement striker from River Plate. So there may be some moves happening. We'll see.
Yeah, and like with Caleb, I understand, a team might even want to try and get him right now before the dollar goes up, right? Like,
Yeah,
boons if he has a great Olympics. And
exactly.
then, yeah, then they're going to say, well, now Atlanta United's going to be asking for more. Like, get in before that. Like, and I mean, the same with Almada, right? I mean, before he goes, you just they want to be able to get in at a good price here. And, right now, I think Atlanta United's just fine with that because they're fine with this transition, right? Like, if we were in the top two spot right now, maybe all this doesn't happen as quickly. But you are a transitioning team right now. Unfortunately, I know the fans don't like that because it feels like we've been transitioning for 4 years. But that is what you're doing right now, and this isn't like the Atlanta Hawks. If you've been following them in the past 24 hours, they're dismantling their team with most likely going to be you know being crappy for years. That's not what Atlanta United wants to do. They want to win. They want to win ASAP. They're going to use that money that they're spending. And I Tyler, I keep trying to go back and look, and I keep forgetting. But like, I feel like at this transfer window, when all these transfers, didn't they change the rule of how much can turn into GAM and all that?
Yeah, I don't know the number off the top of my head, but yeah, so more of that sale can then go towards back to GAM.
Right. So that's perfect timing for
Yeah,
all of this, right? Like, this is absolutely a great time to do all of this, be able to transition some more of this money into GAM, and then like the same thing like with Gregerson, right? Like, there was talks that we couldn't buy Gregerson down. Do all these transfers say, hey, we could do that? I mean, I think we're going to be able to next year, anyways, with the amount of money that we have. But you can now, like what I tweeted last week, you are going to be able to bring in three DPS next season,
yeah,
between now and the end and start of next year. Like, this is what you want. I think just at least for myself, I would prefer, at least if whoever this new manager is going to be, to at least have some insight on one or two of them.
yeah. At least one of them, for sure. So, because I think if you fill one in the summer, you make the right move, and the second half of the season looks entirely different. And then you already have the other one, and then yeah, you buy down Stian, because last we heard was Garth saying like essentially there's no way to make it happen this season. You can't buy him down, but I don't know if that changes now with Caleb. Um, Nor do I feel like you want to right now. Maybe I mean it might be better just to hold that until the off season when you know for sure you're going to have that capability. So you got a lot to play with as it stands. You have a lot to play with because you have the one DP spot, but you in a couple of weeks you could be looking at a lot more to play with. So I think you're actually in a pretty good position. You didn't shoot yourself in the foot entirely in the beginning of the season to the point where you don't have a way to battle out of it. You're above the playoff line right now, like barely, but as bad as Atlanta was, they didn't kill themselves off. So you have room for growth. You have a possibility to get back up and make it to the playoffs. And then again, we talk about it all the time, but you just got to get there and then see what happens. And then continue to make your bigger moves in the offseason.
100% agree.
Let's see. Yeah, Dan saying he thinks it's a million in GAM. That sounds right, but I just can't remember. Omar saying, do you prioritize a attacking midfielder or striker? Um, I think you honestly, I think you put the effort into both and see if either one of them, if you find the right fit, because you're going to have to get both. And if you find the guy, sorry, the train's about to go off. I don't know if it's coming through very, very loud on here because this is my first time wearing this headset.
Oh yeah, it's loud.
Okay, sorry. But no, I think you put the same amount of effort into both, and if you decide that you find the guy that is going to fit not only right now but in the future, like again, I always go to Acosta as an example. If you find one of those guys, you got to jump on that, and then you just put all your efforts back into the other one that you didn't get now in the off season. But you don't want to skip on somebody just because you're trying to focus on one or the other, and you also, again, you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot. So I would say, I know that's kind of a crappy way to answer the question, Omar, but I think you just got to see who comes along. You got to see who your scouts have identified and pick the one that's going to work the best right now, but also going forward.
Yeah, don't rush it. Don't make
Yeah.
any emergency signings here. When we've made emergency signings in the past, it hasn't worked out. If something that falls in your lap, great. If it doesn't, you've got the off season to continue to finish this. This isn't a one and done window, right? Like this team wants to be built to win for a long period of time. So if you rush this and push, something in that's not, in your long term, planning, you're just going to screw yourself here again. And we're going to be right back into 2021, 2022 Atlanta United.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so, sorry, I'm trying to get back to the right window here. Um, Ren saying, can you explain how the buy down process works? Essentially, you have a DP and you have to use a certain amount of money to essentially take the DP designation off of the salary cap and pull them down to where they don't fit as a DP anymore. They fit as a TAM player. So you use GAM to do that. You use that to buy them down so that they don't. They're essentially still, for their purposes, the same, but for the roster construction purposes, they don't count as a DP anymore. So that GAM is we call it, the monopoly money, the Garber bucks, whatever. You use that to kind of finagle roster rules in MLS in your favor. So that's maybe not the best way of describing it, but essentially, you just get there's a line for the DP, how much you paid for them, how much they're making. The GAM allows you to drop below that line and then redesignate them not as a DP anymore, but as a TAM player, which opens up that DP spot. So I tried to explain that in the best way I could.
I give you a B plus on that. That's
I
pretty good.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. Anytime anybody ever asks me off the cuff to explain any kind of MLS roster rule, a B plus is about the best you're going to get out of me. I tried. So
I try to explain to people like when they just ask about MLS rules and they get bored within like 30 seconds and say that's stupid and walk away. So I didn't see our people leaving our stream. So I think you did a pretty damn good job.
woohoo! I do my best. Uh, let's see everybody saying, Dan saying, I'm guessing prioritize a striker. Um,
Well, we don't know anything's completed at this point.
yeah. As far as outbound moves, obviously the only one we know for sure is, said and done is Yakimakis. But yeah.
Oh yeah, I thought he meant that rumor of that guy coming in.
Oh yeah. That's still pretty fresh. So it doesn't surprise me, especially kind of where it was reported at. I mean, I think he would be a great fit. But that look, if the Almada rumor is like a campfire, the Caleb Wiley one is definitely like you can see the spark and you can see some smoke starting to come up, and the fire is definitely there. This other one with Miguel Borja, I mean, you're still over there trying to light the lighter. So we'll see. Ashton, yeah, that's what we're talking about. It's he's a striker playing for the Colombian national team right now in Copa America. And if you've been watching Copa America, you've seen that Colombia's on one right now. They're doing really well. So, um, yeah, I mean, look, I think it would be a great move, but it's still really early for that one. But it does show. I mean, think about how many times over the past couple of transfer windows we've been like, where are the rumors at? Where are they at? Well, you've got them now. You could be looking at a vastly different squad in the next 2 months for Atlanta United, and God knows a totally different crew in January of next year. So I think it's exciting. The team needs it. They definitely needed a refresh after Pineda leaving and then Rob taking over. I'm here for it. I think it's necessary at this point.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, there's exciting times coming, right? Like
yeah,
I felt like there was so much doom and gloom there for a while, but I hate to say it, but when Pineda was released, I think that brought a little bit of hope here, and then the results started coming a little bit more, right? Like you're not winning nonstop, but you're not losing either, which is there. You're kind of you're moving up the standings a little bit. The worry is, I don't think Philadelphia is going to stay bad forever. I think that somehow, I think they're going to fix themselves here at some point. New England or Orlando, are they going to start getting things figured out? I think so. So all these other teams are
uh oh,
it's got to get better. If they don't, and their reasoning is we want to be better prepared for next season. I get that too. But like people have said in our response to, when I say that is, it just sucks for the people that go to the games, right? And just not see, great play. But right now, Rob's got him playing pretty well.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, yeah, Miguel.
But yeah, what Trent said there. I mean, Rob's going to lead us to MLS Cup glory with only one DP. Stranger things have happened in this league.
A good thing for him.
Hey, that would just mean he would be gone in the offseason because every club that needs a young, solid manager would be knocking on Atlanta United's door for sure. But all right, so you say 1-0. What did I say the other night? I said something wild, didn't I? Like 3-0?
I think you said 3-0. Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, we'll see. We'll see. So, cool. Any final thoughts?
How's the crowd?
Huh?
How's the crowd?
I mean, they're trickling in. It's kind of hard to tell at this point. There's not a lot here now, but I think I always kind of judge it. My litmus test is about 5 minutes before kickoff. That's typically when you kind of have an idea of how many people are going to be here. Outside was pretty good. I mean, the tailgates were hopping. So, I don't know. It's got a weird vibe today too, though. Like maybe that's just for me because I was here 2 days ago covering Copa America, and I've been here. I feel like I'm like living up here now, but it almost didn't feel like a game day initially this morning. But yeah, the crowd's trickling in. They're getting here. So
Why don't you
I'll
just
try to
move
get a
into the
picture before
Kanye
kickoff.
suite? Or the
Hey,
Kanye
yeah.
room.
Yeah, he's trying to get a bed made and everything in there.
Yeah.
See if he signed the walls and counted down the days on the wall in there. Cool. All right, well, it's we got a little over half hour before kickoff, and we will be on Spaces after, and then back to our regularly scheduled show on Wednesday. And I think
Tuesday.
that's it. Tuesday. Yeah, that's right. My bad. Tuesday. So yeah, July 4th is the day after. So no. Yes. God, dude, see what I mean? You see how jacked up I am right now? I don't even know what day it is anymore. whatever. We'll be back Tuesday. That's all you need to know.
Hey, Tony's on the line. Tony, it's
Tony.
Tony.
Yeah, for real. Tony was very graciously co-host for the live show over at the Nestle 4 bar, which was a lot of fun. Thank you to my brother-in-law Tony for coming out. We had a great time. I
Look
understand
at the
mispronouncing
headshot.
people's names. I know it's phenomenal. But hey, this is what he does. He is a host. That is his job, and he's very good at what he does. So quick shout out to Tony. And yeah, hopefully it's better than the U.S. match here the other day because I came to watch soccer, not MMA, and MMA is what we got on Thursday. So
That wasn't
let's leave the
MMA.
red
That was
card.
WWE because that was all fake.
Yeah,
Everything that
yeah,
happened
you're
there,
right.
it was like special guest referees, uh, crazy ejections. Like, no, that
People
was
coming off
straight
the
up
top rope.
WWE.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
that was
really
a
bad.
scripted game for
I
sure.
agree. It was also very embarrassing from a refereeing standpoint, but I'm not going to get on that soapbox right now. Maybe in spaces later, but I'm not doing it now. It's garbage.
All right. Well, I'll see you on there later.
All right. Appreciate everybody hopping on. We will talk to y'all later and then again on Tuesday. See
See ya.
y'all.